Coach, if you could just give us a summary of your team's performance today, please.
Thank you very much. Vital or no, let's see what will happen in the second match. I think most important thing is that we understand that we can, because we know that we can compete in this level with the best teams on the season and make a wonderful game. I think we made a wonderful game. Obviously that you all know, and I also know that we could have scored for several times a second goal that obviously would give a more comfortable result. But it's clear that we will have to play for a victory in terms of scoring a goal over there, because that is obviously the advantage that the team needs to fight for. It will be a tough match, as this one was a tough match, played on the limit. We knew how Asfak would try to aggress us. It was important to control a few things inside the pitch. We did well. Obviously that there were some moments that on the first half that we delivered systematically long balls, and it's important that we would take the game for the pattern we usually play, so that we get the comfort and we are not exposed tactically and physically. The beginning of the second half obviously was quite difficult for both teams to pick the pace, but then after that I think we made a beautiful second half. We fought for the goal that could give us a little bit more comfort. It was not possible, but remains a wonderful performance. I think we saw again Sundowns in the highest level, what is obviously very, very comfortable and very beautiful to see, and as a coach to admire the level this team can play. But second half ahead, we need to rest, 7 days to rest, pick some energy. It will be important because that's something that we really were not, we didn't afford the luxury to have. I think there's, let's see what will happen with Obre, but probably we will lose him. And that comes obviously from again, the restraints, the impact and the effort that we were obliged to be submitted to in the last month. But the ones that stand up are always the ones that are more important, and for sure we'll find a way to play that match and be again a very competitive team.
Thank you very much, Coach. We'll proceed with the Q&A. Let's start here on the second row, then we'll come to the front and then the back.
Good evening, Coach. Mr. Musor, Independent Media. Coach, congratulations on the win, first of all. But today, Coach, we saw possibly one of the best versions of Sundowns. Of course, it could have been better in terms of the goal conversion as well. Going into the second leg, now you're going away, hostile environment, if you could possibly put it that. How tempting is it for you, or how much is it going to play in your mind in terms of making changes in how you approach that game, and not even tactically, but in terms of the overall philosophy that you're going to use playing that second leg, knowing that you have a one goal buffer as well?
Yeah, I understand what you mean by your question, and thank you very much for the compliments. Yeah, I think yes. First of all, once again we saw a fantastic level of football, and these are exactly the fights I always have here in South Africa in order for the teams to be provided conditions to express the quality that they have. And it's important that we do it systematically, so that when we arrive on these stages we can also systematically show that performance. But I do agree, I do understand what you are putting on the table, but I also think that it's quite important that you understand that the teams must play as loyal as to the way they are. There's no sudden transforming on the identity of a team. And our identity goes beyond the will of a coach, goes on the direction and on the roots of the South African people, and where this club was born and from where it comes, and where it continues to want to go. So obviously there are always strategical parts of the matches that we need to take care, but there are four moments of the game to express, and only a Mamelodi Sundowns on the level that we showed today will be able to overcome the difficulties that we're going to have on the second match. Of course, we need to close the ears. We need to understand that the environment that we go is a privilege to live. There's not many people in the world that can enjoy to play on a stadium like that, so beautiful and so in an ambience that we're going to face. But also there's not many people that can be cheered up by the fans that we have here, and we'll take them in our heart, and we'll make of that the strengths that we need to have throughout the difficult moments that the game will have, trying to reduce them as much as possible, trying to control this team as much as possible, and then playing it on the moments we will have the ball, trying to be compact, to be a strong collective. Only a very strong collective can win these Champions Leagues.
Good evening. Coach Tamashavela Joseph, FM Sports. The way you guys played today, that was not a 1-0 match. How do you then continue from where you are, so that when your fans go to the airport come Tuesday next week, they go with you and the trophy? It's a big mountain to climb playing away, but one can say it was not much of a luck that you had today. On a normal day, it could have been a 4-0 type of match. How do you then pick up your ball?
Yeah, I understand, but we have to get the energy not from the result that we could have got, but from the result that we have in hand. As you know, it's my third final in a row, and it's my first time I go with a goal in advance, and all the three of them were played away. First match I drew with Esperance home with Ahli. Second one we drew here 1-1 with the Pyramids. And this time we have the privilege to be one goal ahead. What is not, well, let's see if it's enough or not. We'll fight to make it enough. But I understand that it could have been, I don't say 4, but a second goal would be more than fair, let's say, for the level that the team showed. But it's not what counts, and that's not the energy we're going to take. We're going to take the right energy, making a serious approach on the second match, and as loyal as we'll be to ourselves, the best or the closer we're going to be from achieving what we need. It will be a strong aggression, but we are a strong group of people with a lot of character, and that is something we need to put on the pitch. I think that leaving the right emotions will be the key for the second match. You saw today that my substitutions were never on the intention to hold a match. And that's exactly the mindset I don't want in my players, is to think always that, let's hold this and try. Because we need to play the 4 moments, be very strong on defense, but when we win the ball, play the ball and have the ball and try to express the football what we have and look for a goal, because I think that it will be absolutely decisive eventually to make a goal there, because these teams can score any moment. Asfar can score, we can score. That's why today also in some moments despite had chances, we also were always concerned about the balance of the team, so that we would not expose ourselves and suffer a goal like we suffered last year here in the last moments of the game that turned it completely around. Well, the boys will be brave enough to build the attitude that we need to have. We're going to try strategically to approach the match in the best way, with a big respect for the opponent. And I hope it's possible, because today I saw a lot of sports spirit between the players, the coaches, the staffs. Even when the VAR was not working, you saw me speaking with Rimat, you saw me speaking with Adraf, you saw me speaking with the coach, and we told each other, guys, we represent Africa. We need to give a good example to the world after what happened in the AFCON, and we have to play this match. Even without VAR, we have to play it. Let's go. And I think it was very beautiful to see how everybody understood each other. We saluted each other in the end, and that the spirit of the teams towards the will to win will never take the match in a direction that we don't want to see, because these teams can play fantastic football that make both coaches proud and Africa proud, because we are showing ourselves to the world. And I think that I wanna people in Portugal and whatever to see how beautiful can be the game here, how the game has level that they don't sometimes think that it exists, because the idea that passes outside is that in Africa the football is played with kicks in the front, with strong people running, and they don't understand, or technically but tactically not good, and that's not the reality. And we need to show that to the world so that we state ourselves in the where we have to be.
Coach, it's, good evening. Kanye Sochoho here from News 24 Sport. You have partially addressed the VAR issue, but you mentioned difficulties in an early answer. Are you concerned about a VAR difficulty manifesting in Rabat, considering that the particular place was the crime scene of what was comfortably one of the most contentious finals with AFCON, and the fact that there was some despicable behavior from the AS Rabat for fans during the game?
What happened during that?
They had a fight with the police and the Sundowns fans in the top corner.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. If something happened, I'm really sorry, and I hope there was no incidents, because I didn't really saw nothing, and I had no time. I just picked up my family and spoke with a few players, so I was not briefed on that. If something happened, I hope everything is under control and the people is safe, because there's no more important values than people and the life and the body and the health of everyone. So I hope there's no. I'm not worried about the ambience that can exist in Morocco in terms of going beyond the limit of what is a football match. I think we do want to make a beautiful match for everybody, and the sports spirit will prevail. I will have my family in the stands, like my assistants will have their families in the stands, like we have around 50 people going from Portugal to watch a match. So I just hope, and I'm pretty sure that what we're going to try to do in the pitch is show the football in the level that he's played. And for sure that's how the two coaches are going to prepare the second leg. We should be really privileged to be part of the family of football, and be on this level is such a moment that we can never make it other way rather than in the dimension of how it exists and it is. And let me tell you, I was 2 times on the side of the loser, not of the loser, of the second one, because in sports there's no losers. And I had to handle my emotions in the right way and to live the moment and understand it. And I think that whatever will happen in Morocco, that's the behavior that will be held inside the 4 lines for sure. And if inside the 4 lines the behavior is held in the right direction, outside it will be much more easy to keep it also. So that's the example we have to give, and we will do.
Okay, Mascata Power. Okay. I mean, there's quite a lot to the dynamics being a bit in favor heading into the second leg. I don't know if you may disagree, because you played AS FAR last year. Both games were draws, but you managed to score first. Even when you played away, you still managed to score first. And you've just mentioned something quite important to say. In the finals that you played, both of them, it's the first time that you get to score, and you said you want to remain true to how Sundowns play. But with all these dynamics, coach, and a trophy on offer, one that you know in these 2 years you couldn't get, even though from the group stage you were very good. Does it tempt you to change maybe the approach, tempt you to say that you have to give a bit more of yourselves to get it, given that you've got this goal and you are able to score when you are away?
Yeah, I think, and thank you very much for the question. It goes a little bit on the direction of what I said before. I think obviously that we have to play looking for a goal. The game will be different from this one, obviously, but as much as we make it similar in the way we play, and how many more moments we take it in that direction, for sure, the closest we will be from having control on the match, keeping the integrity of the team, and being able to obviously fight the right way for the trophy. It's very important that we don't ever lose the roots of what we are, and that has to do with the biggest principles of our game, of course. But it will be a different match for sure. Let's see how we're going to prepare it. But we'll be ready to the aggression that we're going to suffer. But it's also important that we apply aggression to the opponent in order to obviously make them not feel that they can come with everything, that we are not there. And the boys have to race for that moment, of course. If they do, well, we'll be more close to go for something. If we don't, then we collapse and we can lose any moment. And it's obviously not important that we think on what we get in hand, but much more what we have to fight for.
We take the closing rounds of questions, colleagues. If we can keep it brief. Let's go ahead, Sia.
Good evening, Coach. Sia Sanga from the Sunday World. Congratulations on the win and good luck on the second leg. I don't know if, Coach, you are aware, but Coach Pitso is one of the people who've been vocal about their support for you in finally winning the Champions League. What does that mean to you, knowing that a renowned coach like Coach Pitso, who's won the Champions League several times, including with Sundowns, fully backing you?
I didn't have ever the privilege to cross with him or to meet him. I would be very pleased, obviously, to have that chance. And I'm very thankful for his support, because it means that he has still Sundowns on the heart, but most of all, it means that he's on the side of the team from his country. What is obviously very important for us, that we have the support of the country, and that support should be systematic and done in concrete actions towards what we have to face throughout an entire season. It's a moment, obviously, that energy comes from all sides, and as much union, as much communion, and as much peace we have around us, the best to allow us to work in the direction that we want. And so any support will be welcome. And as I said, it's thank you very much for those words.
Good evening, Coach. Gleason for Backpage Media. You spoke about one or two missed opportunities on attack, but just to talk about your guys' defence, just what do you make of your defensive performance, and how important was it to keep a clean sheet here today?
Yeah, it was obviously important, and it was clear. You saw it from the beginning of second half that Asfa tried to go for something more. They understood also the importance of having a team that could always look for a goal. They also didn't make any changes in order to protect nothing, so they took out Fali to the side in order to, on the substitution from a draft to the striker, and they tried to keep themselves in the match. This team is also a team that doesn't change much in terms of players, because they have a very strong group of players that usually produce good things for them. Our defense had to cope with that. We knew that how they could aggress us and how they are good on their transitions, because they don't make quick attacks out of just long balls. Most of the balls that they play long is when they suffer pressure, because they try to find the inside players so that they can release then the wingers and produce from the outside. I think we coped with it, but and I think, I don't know, but there were not many concrete chances. But this team can create something out of nothing. So we need to be 100% focused, especially when we are in attack. And I think in the first half we made a few mistakes in the middle that allow them to threaten us in the way they can. And it's good that the defense, as you said, could cope with it. But we should be very, very, very careful in the way we take care of the ball when we are in possession, so that we don't allow the opponent to benefit not from their organization, but mostly from the triggers that you give them by losing the ball in certain zones, especially in the middle, because they have capacity from the outside, from Reda, Amudan, Fahlis is an incredible player. And obviously from that they can find something. So it's really important that we don't allow those balls. Even Rimat, he can make a first pass that allows them to escape of the pressure and then go with numbers for attack. So yeah, we did well. we were always compact. We were capable to counter press, and well, that's also from there that something came. But we need to be even better than that on the second match, even better than today on the second match.
Colleagues, I know there's a lot of questions, but I'm only left with two, so Mthokozisi, and then we'll close it off this side. Mthokozisi, please go ahead.
Greetings, Coach. I'm here, Mthokozisi from Far Post. I'm here, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Coach, you showed faith in Kudwana today. His first start in the Cup Champions League, in a match of such significance. What was your impression of his performance?
Everything has to do with the way, obviously, we wanted to approach the game. We needed someone there on the right. Kutluan is a player that has incredible quality. He'll be a high-level player for the club, and is an important asset for the future. But he's already a player that can perform. Obviously, when you have ahead of yourself Tapelo Morena that has experience and also still capable to produce high-level performances, and when you have a player like Saleng, it's not easy to get opportunities. But he's ready. He played a lot of matches on this key team, not because we put him there on the shelf or on the side, but because we were giving him the opportunity to continue to be ready for anything that could happen positive for his side. And I think he has been playing quite well. The league matches that he played, he's not really a player that lets himself be affected from the ambiances. So yeah, I think he made a good game. He helped the team a lot. I think he had, with a little bit of luck, that left foot kick on the goal could have given him obviously a beautiful moment. But we are pretty happy. Let's just keep the foot on the ground and continue to work. So that more opportunities come for him in the future.
Take the last question.
Good evening, Coach, and congrats on the win. Coach, I want to check, how much did you organize on Queen of Cupido, given the fact that he had not played a couple of matches leading up to this one? It was quite a surprise to a lot of people that he started, and also the significance of having Grant for the second leg in Rabat.
Yeah, of course, very important to have availability of players. Sometimes people think that the coaches are magicians, but no, there's no magic. There's players that can obviously be assets and be important, and we are on the level of the players that we have available. And that is exactly what's been happening with this team in the last 1.5 months. That is being on a level of aggression that the best ones, or some of the best ones, not the best ones, some of the best ones, were not able to give the help to the team, and that obviously touched a little bit the performance. There's no teams that can resist to losing several players that are important, especially when you play a lot. And having availability is decisive for the coaches. If you go on this team of Asfar and you take them 2 or 3 or 4 of those main players of that team, the team will also not show the same level. So having availability of the players is the way the coaches can manage even scenarios of game and create variants and bring something that can indeed overcome the structure and the adaptation that the opponents sometimes get throughout the 90 minutes of the match. Let's see who will be available. Now it's time to recover the players. They will rest a little bit. Then we have to travel, and when we arrive in Rabat, we'll understand also with analysis of this match who are the best ones to start, how we're gonna make it, the approach we have to do, and the availability of the players for us to be more robust as a team, of course, throughout the 90 minutes. Cupido is a national player. He can play on Bafana any moment. He's a fantastic player. But also Damane has been developing, showing the level that you praised already throughout the season, not me. Yourselves, I'm picking your words. Grant is always a reliable player, we know. We have still Keegan that can play on this team. And Mali, we should never forget, last year Mali was an important player through the campaign of both Champions League and Championship. So we do really trust all those players, and unfortunately Meval is not really still in the moment that he can be lined up or even called, because for the first time today in the morning, he made 45 minutes game exposure in a friendly match in Clark Cup. Yeah, let's see who is in the better conditions for us to put on the next match.
Coach, congratulations once again, and we wish you all the best in the return. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On time, colleagues, I do